Kilmar Abrego Garcia is like a bad penny. It just keeps coming back. Every time we think we've gotten rid of this illegal, he comes back. He's whatever. Basically, they said, you have a final order of removal. Get out. You're here illegally. But we won't deport you to El Salvador. That's the one place we won't send you because that's where you're from. And the immigration court said, you gave us this sob story about how they're going to kill you because your poor family was targeted unfairly by some gang. And okay, you pulled on the right sob story, heartstrings. So you do need to go, but you don't have to go back there. So then nobody ever did anything about it. And Trump sicks Tom Homan on the illegals of this country wisely and effectively. And they find this guy and say, oh, you got an order of removal. Get out. But then they send him to El Salvador, which technically doesn't comply with the language of this order, though, to be honest, it really does comply because if the threat is removed, that got your order of removal stayed. In other words, if the evil gang that's threatening you and it's the reason you can't go back to El Salvador has been erased, then you can be sent back to El Salvador. That has happened. They just didn't do the paperwork to reflect it. So that's really, truly the only immigration court fall down here when it comes to Kilmar Abrego Garcia. But in any event, Trump deported him back to El Salvador. Then Chris Van Hollen had drinks with him. Everyone may remember this Maryland senator flew out there and had margaritas with him because he just the Maryland man. He's just this sweet Maryland man. No talk whatsoever about the fact that he was here illegally. He appeared to be a part of MS-13. The left would like to tell us he had no gang affiliations whatsoever. Okay, the gang experts who were patrolling his area 100% thought he was gang. He was MS-13, and he was arrested, and 2 immigration courts found that there was sufficient evidence to conclude he was MS-13, and then he was pulled over for what looked like trafficking of illegals in a car that had all the seats ripped out so they could fit more people in it, going from the southern border up north. So there's a lot to cause us concern about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. But the left, Maryland man, just as a refresher, here's the left. He's just a Maryland man.
Involving the Maryland father. The Maryland father's case is in court.
And happening now, a hearing for a Maryland man.
Details about a Maryland man. Tonight, the Maryland man.
The Maryland man.
Maryland father with protected legal status.
The Maryland father with protected status.
A Maryland father with protected legal status.
A Maryland father with protected legal status.
It's amazing. Okay. None of the relevant information gets in there. After the Chris Van Hollen photo op, the Trump administration quietly removed him from the El Salvadoran prison and brought him back here and boom, slapped him with charges related to the alleged trafficking of illegals. As we saw in that video, I think we actually have it, a 2022 traffic stop. And you can hear the exchange with him where the officer says, this guy's hauling people for money. What people might those be? Illegals. Here, watch this, Hot 6.
How many rows have you got in here? 4?
Where?
4 seats? 4 rows of seats?
Yeah, three seats. Yeah, with him. Yeah.
Did y'all put an extra one in?
Huh?
Did y'all put another one in?
No.
Did it come like this?
Use the truck.
I've never seen one with that many seats in it.
You know what you got, right?
Huh?
You know what you got here, right?
No.
He's hauling these people for money, is what he's doing.
There you go. I stand corrected. It wasn't that they took out all the seats so that they could fit the bodies. It was that they were nice to them. They added extra seats so that they could fit all the bodies properly with a tush in the seats. So when he got back here, they charged him with trafficking. And then he got bail. And he was released. So now you have this guy running around free. And much like they did with Mahmoud Khalil, the rabble-rouser on Columbia campus, who they tried to deport, the left gave him the star treatment, rushed to embrace him. We love him, the Maryland dad. He just wants his say. And he held a press conference where he doesn't speak English. He was using I think it was his lawyer to translate for him. But here's just a little of what we heard him say. Sat 1.
Gracias a mi pareja de vida, mi esposa Jennifer, mi hermano César, mi madre Cecilia, y toda mi familia.
Thank you to my life partner and wife, Jennifer, to my brother, Cesar, to my mother, Cecilia, to my children, to my nieces and nephews, to all of my family.
All right, so that was just an activist translating for him. Interesting, like in the traffic stop, he could understand English, but now suddenly he doesn't understand it anymore, that he's in front of the microphone, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so hold on, because it gets even more complicated at this point. And we'll get to the life partner, his wife and life partner, Jennifer, the one he likes to beat up. According to her. That's not Megyn Kelly speaking, that's her. So he's free for like 10 minutes because he's free pending the charges going through or going forward against him for trafficking until he's not free because Kristi Noem has him arrested by ICE because he's here illegally and he's under a deportation order. Still, he can be deported anywhere but for El Salvador, which was the case when they first took him into ICE custody too. Kristi Noem tweets out on X, today ICE law enforcement arrested Kilmar Abrego Garcia and are processing him for deportation. President Trump is not going to allow this illegal alien who is an MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, serial domestic abuser, and child predator to terrorize American citizens any longer. So he is getting deported. And the Trump administration said, we will deport you to Costa Rica, which is like a lot of people's dream to move to Costa Rica. It's supposed to be beautiful. I've never been. People love it. You can do yoga, Kilmar. You can surf. You have like blue zones down there. You're going to live forever. You're going to outlive all of us down in But he said no. I don't know why. He said no. And instead, they were like, okay, we got your backup ticket to Uganda. So he's going to Uganda now. He's being deported. And he chose that box. He wanted to go to Uganda. I guess there was some deal like in order to go to Costa Rica, you have to plead guilty to these trafficking charges. And he's like, well, I didn't do it. I'm standing on principle. So off to Uganda he goes. Maybe, because his lawyers, who are like the best funded group of people in U.S. history, he's got a better dream team than OJ, have just filed a petition in a Maryland court, because he's a Maryland man, Emily, that's all, just a Maryland dad, to stop the deportation. I don't know what the grounds could possibly be. He has a final order of removal. It clearly says you can remove him any place you want other than El Salvador. The last I checked, I'm not a geography scholar, but Uganda is not El Salvador. Even I know that. But they really, really, really want this Maryland dad to stay. Thoughts?
Well, during the break, I saw this incredible quote from one of his attorneys that Fox News posted, quote, "It is preposterous that they would send Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Africa, to a country where he doesn't even speak the language." And Megyn, this sounds very funny, right? But you know what? This is true, right? Because he doesn't speak English. And it turns out they speak English in Uganda. He's had to rely on court translators the entire time. And honestly, I've had a million different frustrations with this case because I thought the Trump administration handled it sloppily. I thought this was a case of the Biden administration's overloaded, insane asylum pipeline. Like, it was clogged beyond belief. And the Trump administration could have used this case as an example of how they were lawfully dealing with the asylum backlog, which is no easy thing to do. So I don't like how they handled it. I hate the Bukele flirtations. It just drives me crazy. That said, there is a difference between disagreeing with the process and lionizing Kilmar Abrego Garcia as some sort of martyr, which he is not. He should absolutely not be in the United States of America. He never should have been allowed to stay in the United States of America. He cooked up what is a very flimsy asylum case, and he has found himself on the wrong side of the law multiple times, and it didn't matter. He was still allowed to stay here while these cases played out. He entered the country illegally, ended up cooking up an asylum case. He had, as you alluded to, a domestic violence charge or a domestic violence call from the police that was filed against him. His life partner then took it back because that happens sadly in a lot of immigration cases. She's the mother of his child because they realized that a deportation is on the line. And so I don't know what happened there, but it looks like that's what happened. And then he got pulled over for what is also very clearly, pretty obviously, a trafficking case where you you're being paid to bring people up. So they didn't have any luggage in the car. It's all just so ridiculous. And he's been allowed to stay here and create a family, which is unfair to the child now, and the mother of his child, while all of this is being processed. It is completely insane. It is what happened during the Biden administration at a mass scale. And it is so insane to act like this guy is a martyr for the cause.
Yeah. So the sweet Maryland dad and his life partner, the real story is, according to a request for a motion for a protective order she filed in August of 2020, the couple allegedly had a fight. She said that he took her phone, demanded her car keys before flying into a rage when she refused. She said she went upstairs to cook breakfast for the kids, but Abrego Garcia shut off the stove before locking the children in their bedroom. She retrieved her phone from the car and called 911, but Abrego Garcia had locked her out of the house. And when she tried to go back inside, he eventually let her in. When the officers arrived, she said he smashed her phone in front of them. She wrote about the August 2020 issue. She checked the boxes for acts of abuse, yes, including kicking, slapping, shoving, mental injury of a child, and detaining against will. Quote, he had locked kids in the room and the baby was asleep in crib. I could hear them crying. Me and my kids are afraid now. He kicked me, pushed me, slapped me in the face, and threatened me, have photos of all the bruises left on my body. Police came, he acted violent with them and broke my phone in front of officer. I have a recording that he told my ex-mother-in-law that even if he kills me, no one can do anything to him. The document details several fights between the couple that took a turn. In March of 2020, she wrote, he pushed me against a wall, broke a phone, a TV, and damaged the walls. November 2019, he grabbed her by the hair in the car. December of 2019, grabbed her hair in the car and dragged her out of the car, leaving her in the street just in time for Christmas. Then she rescinded it all. As you point out, so often domestic violence victims do. I would say they do in the majority of cases. And this is the sweet Maryland dad that the left is embracing. And I do mean embracing. Here they are, moments after his little speech with his little translator about his life partner and wife, who he thanks and loves so much, Jennifer, with the following chant, SOT 3.
We are all Kilmar. We are all Kilmar. We are all Kilmar. We are all Kilmar. We are all Kilmar.
Are we? I don't know, I'm not sure I can relate to that one. Let's try this one. The Rapid Response Choir is at it again. It's a thing. Check it out. They show up at these events, mostly illegal events, illegal immigrants. And they got a song for Kilmar. Here it is, SOT 4.
Of the world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hide it under a bushel? No.
Hide it under a bushel? No. Across Maryland, I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh my God.
Across Maryland, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
This is amazing.
Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him. Leave him be, leave him be, leave him be, leave him be again. Let him free, let him free, let him free, let him free.
That happened. You gotta play that on After Party tonight.
I have to. I think I was crying when that was rolling. And honestly, I don't want to sound racist, but I sometimes really hate white people, Megyn.
What will the effect of the sparring between President Trump and the Federal Reserve be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does this mean for your savings? Consider diversifying with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or an old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898 and consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.